North Carolina's Republican-led legislature has now banned most abortions after 12 weeks of pregnancy. This happened after state lawmakers voting along party lines Tuesday overrode Democratic Governor Roy Cooper's veto of underlying legislation. What that means is now just 2 states in this surrounding region offer relatively unrestricted access to abortion services. Meanwhile, a federal appeals court today heard arguments in a dispute over the abortion pill mifepristone. The outcome of that case could impact availability to the drug nationwide. For more on this, CBS News' political correspondent Caitlin Huey-Burns joins us now from North Carolina. Caitlin, I want to play for you some sound earlier today from Governor Cooper on what the legislature did. Let's take a quick listen.
The majority of the people of North Carolina don't want right-wing politicians in the exam room with women and their doctors. And they are mad that this has now become law, particularly women who feel like that they have been slapped in the face in a surprise move, sneaky move by this legislature.
Caitlin, what was sneaky about this move? It was a veto override. It was in full public view, was it not?
It was. What Democrats have taken objection to is when the bill originally passed. It did so in 42 hours very quickly. Republicans wanted to move on it. The governor had tried to push at least one Republican to switch votes and vote against overriding the veto, and he wasn't successful in that. We were watching the vote last night, and it happened pretty quickly, first in the Senate and then in the House, and now it will become law as of July 1st. But we know that this is an issue that has implications beyond North Carolina, because North Carolina had become kind of a central point of abortion access in the South, with most neighboring states either banning or restricting the procedure very severely. So that's kind of where the focus is now after talking to providers here is what happens next. But Republicans that we've spoken to argue that this was a consensus bill. Take a listen to our conversation earlier today with the House Speaker. North Carolina had been a key access point for abortions in the South. Was your hope that that dynamic would change?
So I certainly do not want to see us being a destination for that. I think we have enough health care challenges in North Carolina taking care of our own citizens where we don't need to be getting spillover from other states unless folks are just here otherwise.
So he was acknowledging that they don't want North Carolina to kind of have that status as an abortion access haven. On the other hand, he was arguing that there are exceptions included in this legislation. But as we've been talking about, this is an issue that has become a national one on the presidential campaign stage, as the Republicans are trying to figure out how to talk about this issue, knowing that it is something proven to have galvanized Democratic voters and independents.
Caitlin, a practical question. Was it discussed there either in the run-up to this veto override or in the conversation about this underlying legislation that whatever the restrictions are, that will not end abortions, and people who try to either have abortions done in their own way or in places that are not clinically sound become health care problems also, meaning the quote-unquote back alley abortions become an issue, healthcare and otherwise, for people within your state or people who travel to your state. That's not going to end. Did that come up in this conversation?
It came up in the conversation that I had with a provider who we spoke to last year when she was seeing a huge surge in patients from out of states coming to her clinic here in Raleigh. We talked to her again earlier today, and she said that that was her top concern, what this does in terms of care. And she was very concerned of the burden that this would place on hospitals. And so that is something that she wanted lawmakers to consider.
Coming to us from Raleigh, North Carolina, Caitlin Huey-Burns. Thank you so very much.